Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, Zach Stat Pearson, and today I'm joined by the leader of the Virginian House of Freemen, a one Corey Troy. Oops. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and referee, Zach Stat Pearson, and today I'm joined by the leader of the Virginian House of Freemen, a one Corey Troy.
Howdy.
And of course, the man who's forever on a mission to bring peace to the allied nations of Wakanda, the Wakandan ambassador to the United States military, a one Michael Dat Hill.
You can make Detective Pikachu perfect, but you can't make Sonic good. I'm ashamed.
I am so scared that movie is going to be successful, because no matter what happens, we get fucked. Because if it's successful, then everything we said about it was right, and the old fans take their kids to see the movies. But we all know that those movies are not going to do anything other than pander and sell merchandise instead of tell a decent and good story. Also, why is it fucking just Sonic? Where's Tails? Where's Knuckles? I don't get that much of a shit about Shadow, but I understand he's popular, so. And this is a grown Sonic too, so he's met Tails and Knuckles. All right, topic 1. What do independent game developers, such as myself, need to do in your opinion to get potential customers to realize their product even exists, when most online stores don't even have a curation on their platform? Topic 2. Electronic the bitch-ass arts surprise mechanics is genuinely a giant lying chain of bull to horse shit. No, I'm not sugarcoating that for anybody. That has now led up to hearings with the EU and American political figures for years now. However, most recently, they have started to develop a new lie that claims their brand of digital gambling is surprise mechanics. I don't have a question here. We just going to take turns ripping into it and wish Matt was here to do it with us. Topic 3. Devil may lie, as you all know, pun intended. There was a mysterious patch that altered the AI and techniques of the Virgil AI. We already know Capcom is terrible at lying. However, sometimes upper management determines things as well, so you never know what's going to happen. That's why I like to say neutral till I get my facts. Without a shadow of a doubt, it still feels like we're getting a Virgil DLC. However, what type of Virgil DLC would you like to see happen? Do you want him to have his own story mode, or do you just want to see him playable in all campaigns? How would you do a Virgil DLC? What new weapons or styles would you give him? And of course, topic 4. Most of the big corporate branded fighting game franchises seem to have reached the type of stagnation due to the success of accessibility of creating downloadable content. In fact, the creator of Tekken has even stated he doesn't necessarily believe there may be a point to a Tekken 8. Do you believe that we may get a Street Fighter 6 or possibly a new Tekken in the future? Or do these companies not realize how much space and data new material always takes up, and we're all doomed to the equivalent of a fighting game MMO for the foreseeable future? And yes, I am going to fix the typos in topic 4. Why don't you start us off, Corey?
For topic 1, I think that maybe it's just finding better ways to promote your game. I never see a lot of promotions for indie games, so I think possibly just find better ways to advertise it. For topic 2, it's just prolonging the inevitable of it's going to go back in court again, it's just going to fail, and it feels like it's just going to be this cycle that's just going to keep on repeating with the loot box system and what is now surprise mechanics. It's just really annoying. For Virgil, topic 3, what I would like to see is what they did with Devil May Cry 4, which is just throw Virgil through the campaign without actually like a real story. I mean, he has, you know, a story in the campaign, but I feel like it's hard to do since for like a quarter, spoilers, for 3/4 of the game, he isn't even like playable. He's not even Virgil. He's someone else. So I don't know how you would do that. But yeah, I just do what they did in DMC4. And I just repeat everything for DMC4. Topic 4. 1 second. I think that we'll just continue getting numbered sequels in fighting games. You know, it'll just continually happen, like Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Tekken 9. I think it'll all just keep going. I mean, I'd be fucking pissed if I saw fighting games in the style of MMOs. I think it's already a thing. Is that like a by Nexon? They have like a fighting game, or is it a beat 'em up MMO? I don't remember too well, but I just think we're gonna keep on getting sequels, and it's just gonna keep on repeating the process of creating downloadable content, and you know, just keep on seeing more.
Okay, Hill, go ahead.
Let's see. Oh yeah, topic 1. To separate yourself and to promote your game, you would really need to separate yourself from the previous iterations of all the indie games that come out that have been successful, like with Cuphead or Shovel Knight. You gotta really say you're not gonna be like these games, or even so be ballsy enough to say you will do better than these games. For 2, they're just fucking bullshitters saying these are just like fucking Kinder Eggs or the fucking Hatchimals. Like, nah, dude, this is fucking. You are hiding competitive play behind money nobody wants to spend at all. People will just want to play the game and be good at the game rather than I need to spend over $300 in this game to get one good character and a bunch of cosmetics. You're not going to fool anybody behind the fact that you're really just promoting gambling at younger ages. It'd be really hard for 3. It'd be really hard to see Virgil in the game due to the fact that he is first demon in the chair, he's also Hack V, then they come together, then he's played at the end of the game. So saying he would be playable would be hard, because the only other time you see him is when he comes in and cuts off Homeboy's arm. Seeing more fighting games, I believe it. Because I didn't think I was going to see a Soul Calibur 6 ever. And then lo and behold, people wanted it, they saw money at it, they got it. So I see when they just become stagnant and people thirst for more, instead of just, you know, give me more characters, I want a whole new game, they'll do it. They'll go for the cash grab, even if the story is just like, we'll go back in time, we'll go forward in time. That's all you really gotta do with these games.
He just called off Mortal Kombat low key. I
really did.
I think they've done time travel twice now. Here's the weird part. Every time they do time travel, it's like their best-selling game. I kind of find that funny.
So, Street Fighter 6 time travel?
That would be fucking ironic. I won't even laugh. That would be genuinely ironic as fuck. Okay, Okay, got my thoughts together. I'm on two sides of this coin, which is rare. Normally, even though I have a neutral opinion on a lot of shit, I have a direct, decisive, double-sided opinion, or I guess that would be the correct term for this shit, because it's so very odd and unique. Okay, so I feel like the problem lies with not the creators of the game necessarily. However, I'm not going to consider them innocent. The primary issue is with the console makers and also Tandem, the publishers. Because the curation system exists on the PlayStation 4, but it's really geared towards who paid for this slot at this time. With the exception of their billboard style listing of best selling right now at the time. So I'm gonna just give you an example. The current president of Nintendo, whose name I don't remember because he's not as cool as Kimishima. Fucking love that guy. And also look up Kimishima memes next time y'all on Google or something. That man, oh my God. Okay, so he said that, this new president said that legitimately he wants to have close to 1,000 independent titles on their platform per month. Do you know how fucking stupid that is? Do not get me wrong. There is absolutely nothing with making or creating a video game. But if you make a fucking game that no one knows exists, aren't you better off not making it? Nintendo form of curation for their entire indie shop, which you can't even search shit correctly because there's no the genre specifications are next to nothing. But their form of curation is give a YouTube 60-second or barely 60-second trailer to whatever game came the fuck out. However, it's only a select few with criteria that no one truly knows what is. For example, this month, Nintendo Indies showed off 9 games, I believe, on YouTube, and 60-second or less clip trailers, right? So imagine my surprise when you go to the eShop and you find out in that same amount of time of last month or this month, there's been close to 80 fucking games that came out. And I'm including not just indie, I'm including virtual console shit only. I'm including re-releases, all that shit. What the fuck? That whole, when you're a developer, now mind you, you can't get more of a baby developer than me. My diaper's still full. But when you fucking come into the market where independent and virtual console titles are not only seen as a refreshing, breathtaking, unique idea or can do the most unique things, but they also fucking have to deal with publishers who don't want to promote, or you can't pay them to promote unless they charge you another fee, and even then their fee is based on what the big three are going to call you. You go into the PC market, your shit will get stolen if it's popular. So I can understand the dismay. I've told everybody, including potential investors, some of which turned me down just because I said it, but I am potentially not releasing any game I make on the PC until 6 years after I finished 6 years after it finished on the console, for the specific purpose of thievery. Yes, there's thievery on the consoles. I'm not going to say there's not before, one of y'all jumped the gun. My whole point is basically very, very simple. who has the least amount of thievery? The Sega Saturn, because it was just terribly coded on top of encryption, didn't even get fully hacked till like 2013 or 14. PlayStation 3, they fucked up with the operating system. They put Linux on it, so yeah, got screwed. PS4 technically got hacked, but it's not a game-related hack. And they're at least 2 or 3 years off from that, even though the PS4 is, I think, almost 10 years old. Also, somebody do a quick Google search and see if there are any functioning PS4 hacks. Xbox One, I believe, still is not hacked. Or if it is hacked, you cannot use any online features because it fixes it immediately and makes the data that you put on it pretty much unusable. So it's like you would be hacking from a glass house. So the way I see it is that it needs to be a joint effort. There needs to be genuine curation. Movies, we haven't realized it because there's been so many movies that come out per year now, even though we don't see all the commercials and trailers. But in the 90s and the early 2000s, there were about 60 to 70 movies that came out in theaters. Okay, they got homebrew and weaker system emulation for the PS4, but they ain't got it all the way yet, so it is what it is. But you know they're gonna get to it. But I digress. There used to be close to 60 or 70 movies that came out per year in the North American cinema, the mainstream one at least. Now that number has pretty much doubled. That's insane. Not to mention, some theaters don't have the actual capacity for all the movies, or they just say, nah, we're not going to air them here just because some bigger movie, aka a Marvel movie, is going to get them more money, and in exchange, they can get more butts in seats. And I understand that. I really do. But you see how it's a hell of its own making. I'll make it a circle for y'all. Because movie theaters need to get butts in seats, whether a movie is good or bad. Which one would you do? What would you say, you, Corey? If you owned a movie theater, because you work at one, if you owned a movie theater and you knew that you had to get butts in seats to keep doors open and to keep money in people's wallets to come to work, and you had 2 choices of movie, and you got 3 slots. One movie you don't know if it's going to do good or bad, and the second movie is a Marvel movie. Do you give them 1 slot each? Or you give that Marvel movie 2 slots and maybe even give it the 3rd slot and tell that other movie to fuck off?
Unfortunately, I'd probably give that Marvel movie more shots.
See what I mean? Not to mention, even if a movie's good, a lot of theaters now, especially the mainstream ones, I've talked to some of the managers, they don't want to hold the movie longer than 14 days. Or 15 days. Unless it's a Marvel movie, they'll let it ride a month. Black Panther was disturbingly special. Black Panther went 6 weeks in theater, from what I saw. And in South Korea, holy shit. We already mentioned they made a law about that stuff, which is kind of funny. Your movie did so good, they had to make a law. Anyways, so everybody needs to band together before they're in a hell of their own making, because it's going to end up being a flow situation. Where is the least amount of, the path of least resistance way? The smartest way 10, 15 years ago to get a independent digital title was through Steam or Good Old Games, which I don't think Good Old Game was that old though, but it might be. Good Old Games and Steam. Because why? There was nobody else there. And even though the big boys were on there, like the big corporations, they weren't in your way because you were in 2 different fields or formats. Now, because of their algorithm and bullshit ass curation, it's a nightmare. Don't nobody really want to fuck with it. Their refund policy is true proof that American greed still lives and breathes today. So why wouldn't you go to a virtual console? There are people who said, I can't remember the game. One game came out on Steam 5 years ago, and they put it out on the Switch, and they said that they made back within that day almost half the money that they made total from the Steam version. Think about how crazy that is. So, shit, what was my point? Oh yeah, so they're gonna go onto the Switch, but here's the thing: as you can see, they're coming in mass. So if you go somewhere in mass, even if you can fit in that place, it's gonna get more crowded by default. So then what's gonna happen? It's gonna go in a circle. Now everybody's gonna jump their ass the fuck back to computers. Even though they know no matter what happens, even if they get more notoriety, they'll get less profit. Holy shit. They'll get less profit because there's more theft and it's easier. I'm at a point now where if I don't trust your company, or if I think you have a long outstanding history besides EA of trying to manipulate me, I'm gonna torrent your game first, and if I like it, then I'm gonna buy it. And I openly admit to that. I don't care how people feel about it, because the corporation say, well, you should buy it and see if you like it. It's like, well, motherfucker, if I spend $60 to $70 on something that I don't know is a good title, or it's just you manipulated me because you want to sell even though it's garbage, and you're not going to refund me my money unless I literally take your ass to court. And even then, the litigations could take shit anywhere from 10 minutes to probably months or years. Why would I trust you or want to fuck with you? Well, we gotta make money. We gotta make money somehow. Okay, well, make a good product. So I don't feel bad about that. I don't know about y'all, but hey, would y'all do that if y'all was like broken shit? Did you motherfuckers fall asleep?
I'm here.
I'm here. Sorry. Just reading. But I'm listening at the same time.
Well, I asked both of y'all a question.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't.
Thank you. It's not a matter of being an addicted or obsessed gamer who thinks a company can do no wrong. Fuck that. No, it's a matter of we know that a lot of people will do the wrong thing if they're paid to. Case in point, NRA. 90% of Americans in the most recent survey say that they don't mind and they want background checks on gun owners before they get a gun. But the reason it hasn't happened, because the NRA is throwing money at politicians. That's all it is. I'm not saying every politician is in on it. A lot of them don't want it. We all know that. But fuck the bullshit. You can't kill greed until you make people understand at a fundamental level it is wrong and it is immoral. And then you also have to make sure they comprehend empathy. How many psychopathic crazy bastards went to jail and they found God, but not really? What they really found was people who cared about them and wanted to tell them and teach them right from wrong on some fundamental level, and came out or stayed in and became like the equivalent of a fucking passive Buddhist monk. Not to get too off topic, but I'm sure, well, Corey, nah, your ass wasn't born and also you're white, so it wouldn't have been that big of a deal for you, but I'm sure, at least Hill, you know about the Central Park 5, right?
Do not.
Yeah, well, you were born after everything had happened, but long story short, New York has a very, very popular and giant park called Central Park. It's very famous. It'll show up in movies all the time. In 95 or 96, a psychopathic Mexican dude clubbed a jogger damn near to death and basically proceeded to do unspeakable things to what he thought was an unconscious body or a corpse. But she was actually unconscious. She lived. However, instead of getting witness testimonials from people who were in the park that day or around the park, because all the kids live around there because there's a housing district around there and shit, they decided to just literally frame 5 teenagers and also force a false testimony of a 6th dude who had nothing to do with it and wasn't even there that day. However, that dude got locked up, got in with a religious group that basically made him understand, dude, you are a terrible scumbag human being. He found out later on, like months later or years later, those 5 people got incarcerated for him, and he went back and cleared their names for them. And even when they did that, the same people that put those kids in still fought to keep them locked up. And because of that, the city of New York gave those children $1 million for every year they were incarcerated. Also cleared their records. If you want to see it in a more modern sampling, there's a mini-series. It's about 4 episodes on Netflix called When They See Us. Get yourself some popcorn. Hell, make sure you're not holding on to anything, because a lot of black people, when they watch it, they get TV punch angry or break your remote angry. And I'm not saying that as like a hyperbolic statement. It's happened. It's almost a meme now. Also, strangely enough, produced by Robert De Niro. Oh no, the lady even said she did not say that those children raped her when she came and gave her testimony. So this is America. Guns in my area. Anyways, so yeah. We need that get off topic, but we need to regulate and slow down the traffic of games. There's a reason why the big game companies stagger their releases, even if a game is done and they give advanced copies months ahead of time. We all know why. The game is made, but they know releasing it on that date at that time is bad, because most gamers are over the age of 30 and they only buy 1 or 2 games per month. So if everybody coming out in June, 70 to 80% of the games that came out in June are getting fucked. So yeah. All right, EA. I don't know what to say that this sounds like a joke, but I don't know what to say about Electronic Arts that I haven't already said, Jim Sterling hasn't already said, Super Bunny Hop hasn't already said. At this point, I feel like the only way we're going to get these corporations to literally conform and stop trying to manipulate the obliviousness of people in different political spectrums all across the world that don't play these things is if we get one of us to represent us in USA or the EU. USA and EU, for those of you not catching what I'm doing. So I think at this point in time, I don't even think there's a joke I can make that someone hasn't already said. And even though I don't mind beating this dead horse, a man can only put that horse in a grinder to turn that bitch into glue that a child is going to eat and get sick from so many times before he just feels like saying, you know what, fuck it, you disgust me and I don't want your money. I'm not sorry at all. I don't even trust single player games from Electronic Arts at this point. I know they got that really cool Star Wars Star Wars game coming out. Ironically, the main character is also someone who played the Joker or starts to get to the Joker. So basically, I don't know why there needs to be tests and studies. They could literally find any one video gamer off the street and ask them, do you understand or do you treat these mechanics as if they're gambling mechanics? There's a difference between we put something in the game and you're allowed to buy it, versus we put something in the game And there's a chance you can get it if you give us money. Oh, you didn't get it, sweetie? Give me money, 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 give me money until you get it. And no, you can't refund all the crap you didn't want to get that. That's not a surprise mechanic. That's a stress mechanic. And I'm going to tell you why. Who's a good one? Okay, Hill. Let's say, for example, Hill, you are about to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. You have the limited edition version. You got a brand new 4K TV and you got a sound system just for that glorious day in March. But every time you try to turn the game on, or not even that, every time you press a button on your controller, you have to pay a fee for not even 50%, for a 10% chance what you do press on the button is going to react and do what you needed to in the game. Is that a surprise mechanic to you? Man, if this nigga fell asleep. Corey, did you hear the question?
Some bullshit that they fucking put on me.
Dude, look, I know this may sound like a joke, but I think I would literally try to find the address of the person who did that. Go to their house, ring their doorbell to punch them in the face. I don't have a joke there. I think I would genuinely do that. You don't get to ruin someone's childhood, mess with it in such a way that one of their hallmarks and staples with nostalgia, sentimental value, whatever you associate with that good old-fashioned dopamine hit minus the drugs, and then say, give me money, 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 give me money. I have no idea why I can say that so fast. Dude, I feel like I would be on the news. I would be on the news for doing something like that. Japan's a long trip away, too. I'd still get on that flight. Anyways. Okay, so like I said, I'm legit spent on EA shit because it's not even that they do something new and funny. It's just, it's the same old shit. It's much like the NRA and gun control debacle. Everyone know what the right answer is except for the people getting paid to not know. But in the case of video games, all the people who play the games and buy the products know what the right thing to do is. But somehow Congress and politicians don't understand. Go ask the people buying this shit. Excuse my French. Topic 3. Okay. This is a funny story. All right, just so we're clear. Both of y'all have the game, right? Devil May Cry 5?
Yeah, I do.
You know, Corey, if you're going to go AFK, you could let us know in the text or something. It's not like I'd be mad at you. Anyways, okay, so peep this. I didn't really do, what's the tower called? Spiral Tower or Death Tower, whatever you want to call it. Corey's texting something. Because it came out after the fucking game did. And one of the long-held beliefs as to why that was just because fucking it's an easy way to farm red orbs, which reduces the chances of people buying red orbs via microtransactions. So I just played it because I like playing Dante. I wanted to beat the crap out of stuff. And this is kind of fucked up. So that update came out 1.08. I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, right? I'm in my old apartment. It's up a lot of stairs. I'm on the last floor. I sneezed, looked away, lost like half my health or something like that, you know, because Virgil is scaled up to the highest difficulty, so he naturally hits harder than normal. So I'm prepared for this. Beating Virgil's ass, going back as far as, what was it, 2004, Devil May Cry 3 came out? No, not even that. I'm sorry, 2001 when Devil May Cry 1 came out. I'm an expert to the point where I should get a certification in whooping Virgil ass, okay? So I'm like, okay, this don't mean shit to me. I can still kill you. This is the first time you hit me, and I already took off half his fucking life off. Right? Now, guess who has a spare key to my apartment? My mom. So my mom comes up those stairs, which used to tire her the fuck out. She having some ankle issues though, but the stairs themselves don't tire her out. I don't know. She's walked in the room, and she just goes, "I'm tired." So I freak out. Controller slips out of my hand, and I died on the last fucking floor. I can't tell you how I felt at that moment. Because at the same time, I was like, man, this is really fucking funny. Man, I wish this didn't happen to me, though. Anyways, so here's what killed me, though. That update they made alters Virgil's behavior and gives him some different styles and formats of his own techniques. So here's what killed me. Virgil gained a new ability where he can do his long range slash move, and it tracks in the air at a horizontal angle. So I got hit by something that wasn't even there before. Did I mention that update has no explanation as to what it does to Virgil? I'm just curious in that situation here. Who would you say whose fault it was that loss happened? Awkward silence again. Okay.
I can't fault you for being startled by somebody you didn't think was gonna come into your apartment. So I'll say the game's fault.
On top of a move that wasn't there last time I played. That's just man, I don't know if there's a word for happy and angry at the same time, but I wish there was, because it applies here. So for me, yeah, I don't want to carbon copy a special edition because I already have special edition. Special edition came out 3 or 4 fucking years ago. I'm on to that new shit, and I'm trying to stay on that new shit. I want Virgil to get new weapons, and I want his weapons to not just be him using his brother's shit. Beowulf is old. It's played out. I'm tired of seeing it. Yes, it's cool when Virgil uses it. Why not, I don't know, give Virgil a sword that he can dual wield with? That would be nice. He did it with Forced Edge, but he only did it that one time in that one fight. And then you got to play him in Special Edition. Bring something like that back, but don't make it Forced Edge, you know? Or give him the Rebellion like he had in the final boss fight cutscene of Devil May Cry 3. Have him use Dante's sword, but use it in a completely different manner. You know? Why doesn't he keep the glowing drive energy on the blade so it looks like he's swinging around a fucking lightsaber and it has different effects? Know what? Fuck a sword. Let's go ham with this shit. Give him a literal pair of wings. I don't care if they're blade wings. Just give him some wings he can cut and fight with. He ain't got to fly. He can just whoop ass with them. And as far as styles, oh man, I want to call it reckless style. We'll just call it reckless style. Okay, so Virgil is a very clean and concise character. He's one of those I value efficiency and you know, just not luxury but frugal air about him since his inception. Even if you go look up the Devil May Cry 1 official art, do Virgil look like he owned some type of British manor, or he was a lord of a castle or something like that? Real talk. So, fucking, I want him to get a style that's basically recklessness. It's a style where he's using all of his weapons at random. No, not random. That's too random. No pun intended. He's using all the weapons he has equipped. You can't switch weapons between him when he's in that style. What he does is just what he does. So if he got some arm gauntlets or some type of hand weapon, he'll use those in a stinger. But then if you hold the button down, he'll end it with a launcher with his sword. Oh, he'll stab the sword in the ground. He'll kick fuckers while he's got the sword in the ground and shit. Or he'll stay on top of the sword to do a big ass jump to bring down some energy attack or some really, really weird dive kick that does splash damage and shit. Like, I want to see them get creative. Because if you really stop and think about what they did with Virgil and Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, I'm not going to say it was garbage. Hell no. They barely altered anything. They took his Devil May Cry 3 form, they aged it up, even though he should have been younger when they introduced him in the opening cutscene, which is weird. They added some special effects to how he swings his weapons and his combos that he had in the previous game. And they gave him the ability to increase his damage range and damage output by literally standing still in the fight and doing nothing or not missing your attacks when you hit. Now, that may sound like it's a risk-reward system, but it's really not, because lest we forget, Virgil can fucking teleport. So if Virgil can teleport, your chances of missing dramatically decrease. Fuck the bullshit. I want to see them put genuine effort into Virgil. He already has the ability to legit, basically jet propel himself around. I know they're not going to let us do that in game. I ain't stupid. But at least give him something else besides, here's my katana. Here's an energy blade with my katana. I use his bullets. I'm deflecting every single thing you can possibly do with my sheath. First off, if you can do that, how the fuck do you lose a fight, Virgil? You can either teleport out of the way, or you can literally make it bounce off and repel off of whatever the hell that sheath is made out of. Fuck the sword. You can beat people to death with the sheath. Literally. So, I don't know. I really don't know. It's just really awkward how little effort went into that version of Virgil. That's the last boss of Devil May Cry 5. No weapons. They got rid of the monsters. Dude, I was thinking when I saw the monsters die, what was their names? These familiars, the bird, the panther, and the whatever the fuck that was. Oh yeah, Nightmare. I was thinking he was going to have a devil trigger where he fused with the motherfuckers. You know?
Would have been cool.
Hell yeah. Or he got weapons, because that's how Devil May Cry works. He got devil arms because those monsters respect him, so he wouldn't even have to fight them. And now he's fighting Dante with basically a suit of super armor on top of his devil trigger, and he could use all the weapons at once. Instead of casting swords, he casts sword lightning down, and he got wings he can hit you or shock you with, and they can be used to block shit or redirect shit. Fucking, oh, the Panther? Okay, well, he got hand and claw gloves, so now the motherfucker fighting around like Black Panther, Wakanda forever. And then he got Nightmare. Nightmare fuses with his devil trigger. And you can call it Night Trigger or Night Devil. And as we all know, none of that shit happened. So in that regard, I was a tad disappointed with how Virgil came out. You love trying to avoid saying that you a freak. Too bad you make it easy to notice. So, I will say this though. If they give Virgil the ability to play through all scenarios individually, turn that shit on for everybody. Seriously. When I played Devil May Cry 5, there was no thought in my head once I beat this game, and correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all didn't think this too. Once you beat the game, you thought you could play all of the story with any one of the characters.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody was saved at that point.
They didn't even have to make new cutscenes. They could literally do what they did in Devil May Cry 4. They can just basically put a palette swap over, don't give them no new lines, and just show them reacting to the boss before the boss fight kicks in. Not to mention, difficulties change based on the type of boss you face. Think about, what was that, Gilgamesh. I don't know how Gilgamesh stopped being a weapon, or I guess Gilgamesh was a species of demon instead of being that one particular demon's name. But fighting Gilgamesh as V would be a completely different experience, and it would actually be difficult. Oh no, I'm fighting Gilgamesh as Nero? Okay, grappling hook his feet. Don't even care if he can walk around or not. Oh no, he's going to use acid spikes to try to shake me off. Well, I guess I should double jump and then stall in the air by just hitting my handgun button. Okay, I'm back here again. Oh no, now he's throwing little energy light balls at me while I'm trying to hit his brain, which shouldn't be exposed or should be covered up by something. Well, I guess I should literally move out the way or do one jump and stay in the air for 5 seconds, then come back down. Seriously, like, was Gilgamesh hard for anybody?
Not really.
Also, the first boss fight was literally the most mundane and boring thing that I've ever seen in a Devil May Cry game. That first boss fight was so fucking boring, I thought it had a second part and got disappointed when I saw the rank screen. Seriously, that boss is literally just 5 long sticks trying to poke you. That's it. That's the whole boss. It doesn't talk. No witty banner. It just exists. That thing should have been a mini boss that shows up based on the difficulty level at certain intervals in the game. That would have made more sense. Also, what was with the protruding tentacles that didn't do anything in fucking every stage? Did anybody actually get killed by those things? They stare at you for like 10 seconds before they even attack.
I think it's just there to maybe get like orbs.
I think there was something supposed to be there and they didn't have time to do it, so they said fuck it. Because it literally, it's the only enemy I feel like they put no effort into. Now, yes, I am aware almost every enemy in this game came from Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 3, I believe. But it's literally, hey, Devil Hunter. Hey, look, you forgot to kill me. If I had come up out the ground, you wouldn't know I'm here. Hey, look, hey. I'm going to try to poke you. I'm going to sting you with my stinger. You should kill me because it only takes 2 hits. Oh no, I'm dead. Like, that is the most miserable demon I've ever seen in any form of media. Sorry. It's like the French fry that they give you with your meal. No one really came for the French fries unless it's Burger King, but no one genuinely comes for the French fries. You came for everything around the French fries. The French fries just make you think that you're full or got a full meal. Now, I know I say that realizing I'm in a state where they have 2 places that literally only sell fries, but hey, they season the shit out of them bitches. So yeah, moving on to the final topic. Okay, so I think there's 2 opposing ideals. There's really like 3 or 4, but for the sake of this, I'm going to whittle it down to 2 opposing ideas with the future of fighting games. There is the give me money greedy. And then there is the realist. But the problem is that the realist ain't the one who making the money moves, no pun intended. So let me explain what I mean by that. Game companies, and any company really, as we all know, they want to make money. That's all they want to do. However, they don't care how they get it as long as they get it. They may say they care about how good their games are and shit, but let me tell you something. A shareholder don't care about nothing but the profit. So even if they put someone in an honorable position or whatever the fuck you want to call it, they just recently stuck some guy in charge of fighting game division to Capcom who did nothing but Monster Hunter. How the fuck do those two even logic together? But I'm not gonna get on that. That's company knowledge. He might have a history of being obsessed with fighting games or something, you know? What was I about to say? Oh yeah. So they want DLC money. They want physical copy money. They want microtransaction money, and if they could get it, they want that gamble money. When everyone saw Dead or Alive 5 come out of nowhere and damn near make more money than they did, even though their game sold less, that's when, for lack of a better term, the door got blown open, and then they burnt the fucking hinges off of it, and then they put the door in a wood chipper, and then they turned that bitch into mulch. I think. I don't know what actually is in mulch. Somebody Google that for me one day. Okay, so yeah, Capcom is one of those big things. Go look up Street Fighter V and look up the outfits. They will have more outfits than they do content. And then here's my favorite thing. There's a story mode, I believe, on the console versions of their games, of Street Fighter V. But the story mode, which was free, I believe still isn't on the PC version. How long that game been out? Actually, you know what? I'm about to Google that shit. Hey Google, how long has Street Fighter V been out?
Come out.
Okay, let me phrase that. What year did Street Fighter V come out? What year did Street Fighter V come out?
1987.
What the fuck?
According to Street Fighter.
Okay, Google, you fucking stupid, Google. I said Street Fighter V and it told me it came out in 1987. Here's the funny part. It showed me the logo of Street Fighter V. I guess I'm just going to regular Google this. February 16th of 2016. And it is currently 2019. And we've had a triple digit number of DLC pieces since then. And the minority of that DLC is new characters. Then they did a re-release, which is Street Fighter tradition. I'm not going to lie, and we're not going to bullshit ourselves. Street Fighter 2 got remade over 19 times. So basically, damn near for every year that Hill's been alive, that game got remade. Fucking, no, actually Corey, because you're the youngest now. You the baby. So basically, it's commonplace for those games to get additions to them. But here's the thing. When they re-release those games, Street Fighter Arcade 5 Gold or Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, whatever the fuck they call it, you think they put every single thing that they made on that disc? Hell no. They give you a fucking download code. So if you bought that game used, what does that mean? You're screwed. So now they've even devalued the resellability of their own product, which could lead to them getting more DLC money. I honestly feel like they did it on purpose, especially since the new characters DLC, the price for it, the size of it, it's not that big. This may surprise y'all, but one of the smallest file sizes in a video game is the characters. No joke. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, for example, none of the characters' data is even 1 full megabyte. Did you know that? It's the things around the character. The audio, for example. That's what builds it up. But yeah, the actual models by themselves, almost none of them are 1 full megabyte. Funny, ain't it? So,
Yeah.
I know, right? Like that blew my fucking mind away. That was one of the first things I learned about development. I just couldn't get that. I thought like Metal Gear Solid, those characters must take like fucking, 2 gigs by themselves. Nope. Not even a gig. So anyways, what was I about to say? Oh yeah. So that's the corporate mindset. I'm just using Capcom as an example. I promise you there are other people within Capcom who don't want that to happen. But we all know how this goes. When Capcom does too many things that people don't want, their squad leave. Or they were just on commission and they don't want to hire people in-house anymore, which is actually a bit of a staple over at Capcom at this point. I'm doing it for over a decade. Then there's the consumer and also, the director, the people who actually do the groundwork and lay the groundwork for these games. They want to make a successful game. They want to make a good game. They want to put extra stuff in it, stuff people will like, or stuff that they themselves will like, or they think that their fan base will like. There's nothing wrong with that. It's inherently a good idea. You like this bacon I just made here? Okay, well, let me put it in a BLT. Shit like that. So imagine being that guy, but you work for the other guy. Like, you lose access to these characters and everything around them if, and I do mean if, leave this company. So I'm sitting up here thinking, I don't know. I don't know which future is going to happen, because the problem is that, to quote an old Wu-Tang song that's probably older than both y'all, CREAM, cash rules everything around me, seems to be the name of the game, no pun intended that time. So if I can give some recent examples, look at Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, a game I'm not going to even dream of touching. Everything in there is a sprite-based character, so the big file sizes are really just ambulance. All the big file sizes are really just the audio that goes to the characters and their sprites. Special effects, the animation, that ain't taking up nothing, but the audio takes up most of the data. And maybe the stages, because the stages are 3D, but they're very stationary, They're classic old Capcom versus SNK 2 type stages. They have so far released almost 20 characters for DLC. And they have yet to make an updated version of their game come out still. That game is over a year old now. The old system was you add more stuff, and the people who don't have internet or online access, or because you want more money, you make a physical version that includes and features these characters. But now, just based on what Harada, the lead director of Tekken starting at 3 or every game after 3, said, he claims he don't see a point to a sequel? Bruh. And no matter what a Capcom employee says, we know that corporate can say different things. The the Devil May Cry 5 trailer was supposed to happen before E3. But the president called up whoever was in charge and said, hey, no, don't do that. We're going to introduce them at the same time. Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry 5. Because he said he felt like the two series have to be in tandem with each other. Since fucking when? Let's do the recap. Resident Evil, as far as numbered games go, is on game number 8. Resident Evil, as far as games that have happened since Devil May Cry happened, is on game like number 13. Devil May Cry is on game number, because special editions count as different things, game number 8. And that's just if you only use the timeline they both share. So why in the fuck? I don't even know what to say to that dude. So yeah, I'm ambivalent. I really don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that it's going to be more of a scary idea for me to trust or buy a fighting game. Not because I don't think I'm good at them. Far from that. In fact, what usually happens is I play the games. I go in. I usually put in 20 hours in lab. Then I play the game on the highest difficulty. Based on how I'm doing, go back to the lab for about 5 hours. Or I go take my ass online and I go fight my friends. And then usually by that point in time, 2 months have passed. And then I don't touch the game unless my friends come over. And then they think I'm hot booty ass garbage because they haven't been paying attention to any of my trophies that I've unlocked online, or they just don't see the work put in because they don't go and look at the in-game statistics that every fighting game has had since like 2002. I'm not going to joke. That's normally how it is for me with fighting games. I genuinely play them for myself because, I don't trust internet rankings. Also, rage quitters do not get punished. Don't fall for the bullshit. The only fighting game I've seen a rage quitter get punished is Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the original version. Every other game after that, oh, you just give them a title, letting them know that they're a rage quitter? Like, fuck does that do? That don't mean shit. That does not mean shit. So yeah, I don't know for topic 4. With that being said, this has been another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm going to go look up different background music because I'm tired of hearing the same old stuff for 5 months. I will see you guys when I see you guys.